بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلوات والسلام على رسول الله وآله وأصحابه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته, guys.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I just want to get out of the way real quick. I think my salam was better than your guys'.
I think so
Hold
too.
on. How did you start? Did you say salam alaikum and then you said bismillah?
You said
No,
salam
I
alaikum
said
twice.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Oh wait.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I started with in the name of Allah.
You're on film, dude. You know
Okay,
that.
yeah, we'll see. You'll see it on. All right, whatever. So what are we talking about today, brothers? What's going on?
Well, we're talking about instant gratification, but this will also direct us into the direction of Tawheed, Taqwa.
So, for the people who don't know what instant gratification is, you have to like kind of simplify it. What's instant gratification?
It is essentially wanting something that is not easily attainable instantly, as if it was easy. Like, say you see someone who's been going to the gym and they're huge, and you want that, and like you sitting on the couch all day and you see it and you want it instantly. You want that instant gratification of achieving something like that.
And when you can't achieve it, you start to
become
feel
angry.
ungrateful.
Yeah.
You start to feel like what's the word I'm looking for? Like another word for ungrateful. You start to feel some sort of hatred, but not toward yourself, towards your circumstances.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, why did God put me in this position? Why am I in this position? What's going on? Like, why can't I do like what this person is trying to do?
You know what's crazy? The same people that talk and think like that are the same people who are not going to get up and do anything about it. You know, you ever thought about that? Like, just think about it. Because look, me, I was like that, you know, at one point in my life, and I had to change that, and that's when I really saw the change in my life.
Well, I mean, this was like, so this came from the khutbah I just went to, where there was a brother who was a guest speaker, I guess, and he was talking about instant gratification. He was talking about a whole bunch of stuff that I was thinking to myself. I was like, wow, wait a minute. I see some of myself in this, like not on purpose, but inadvertently, like I could see myself doing this and like doing it by accident. He was talking about things like, oh, instant gratification can also come from, you know, the image that you have of yourself online. Like social media is an easy way to filter your life to the way you want people to see you. And he was like, so if you make a post online and you think it's a good post, but you don't get the amount of likes you want, or your followers aren't up to par with what you do, you might delete it just because you think those likes have an effect on your life.
You might
think
feel
those
some
likes
type of
will
way.
affect your iman, or they'll make you a better Muslim or something like that. But no, that's not the truth. Because no matter how many people see with what you're doing, nobody truly knows exactly what's going on except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like your connection with Allah, that's way better than any connection you can have with your followers or anything you have. Like that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is number one. He's above you and he's above your family. And it's like that for a reason. Because if you don't have the connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything crumbles. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to say.
I do.
Well, yeah, I do.
It's like
it's that soul reliance that anything on this earth can happen to me, but as long as I'm up to par and I have the connection with my Lord, I'm safe. Like on social media, like your account can be deleted, you could be hacked, and all your followers gone in an instant. But with Allah, like your connection will always be there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. No matter how many people you lose or whatever you lose in life, you know, materialistic things or people, you know, all these things are limited, but Allah is not limited.
Mm-hmm. And like even like inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. This life's a journey to and from Allah, from and to Allah. Like ultimately to Him is the return, and that's like, you know, that taqwa, that soul reliance, that consciousness of who is watching you.
I mean,
Like
look, think
like
about
eternal.
it. Think about it like this. In the terms of like instant gratification, you know, someone can only beautify themselves so much. Once they get to that point, they're done. Like you can't beautify yourself anymore. Someone can build up their muscle only so much, and once they plateau, like they feel like they stop. But see, there's no end for these types of things. Like people will never feel beautiful enough. People will never feel like that they're in shape enough, or that they have enough money, or that they have all these things that you'll never feel like you have enough followers. Like if you get to 1 million followers, are you content now? Are you just gonna stop? No, like you're gonna keep trying to go increase your following. You're gonna keep trying to increase yourself in any way you can, in any capacity you can in this dunya, right?
There is a way to like put this like in a point of view where people can understand. It's like relative. Success is relative. If you have a person, let's say who's living in Section 8 and he makes it to a suburban home, for another person who is rich and just stays rich his whole life, though that person might have more of an abundance of wealth, the person who went from Section 8 to the suburban home would have more gratification because he's gone through the struggle. He's worked for what he has earned, what he has had. Not saying the rich person has it, but he's gone from one low point to a bigger low point. So his gratefulness to the one who has created him is increased. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, like for example, right? You have someone who grew up rich their whole life. Right? It's not going to be the same as in someone who grew up poor and then they became rich.
Exactly.
They're gonna
enjoy it more.
They're gonna enjoy it more. That's right.
And then, but what people don't see is like that struggle, that innate struggle. That's where the instant gratification, you just look at someone, you see, oh, I want that. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. Like without seeing what comes from behind it. You know what I'm trying to say?
Well, yeah, like when you talk about someone who's born rich and they're rich their whole life, or someone who's poor and then became rich, they built up a gratitude. They built up like, I understand exactly what I had to go through to get here. Like it was a tough battle, but I did it. And it's the same thing with your iman. It's like you're not born like a great Muslim. You're not born someone who's not gonna sin. Like you're gonna sin, you're gonna go through hardship, you're gonna go through calamity. Like you're gonna have to go through all these things because it's gonna be a struggle for you. But once you get to that point where you're like, okay, see my iman, I'm seeing the increase, I'm seeing the progress I'm making. Now it's gonna feel a lot better. You're gonna feel like, wow, I really progressed here. Like, Allah guided me, but ultimately I had to do the work as well. Like, because Allah won't do it for you. Like Allah will give you the opportunities. He will give you the opportunities to wake up for Fajr and to pray it. But ultimately you have to wake up and you have to do it, right? It's the same thing for any form of like acts of worship. Like you have to do it yourself first. Allah says in the Quran, He will not change a condition of a people until they change it within themselves. And that's not just one change. It's not just like, okay, I'm gonna start praying. Like you have to get up and start doing it. If you want to start donating to charity, you have to say, okay, I'm gonna start doing it and I'm gonna donate this much. Even if you donate just like a cent, like that's still a form of charity, is it not? We were just talking about what's the least form of charity? Smiling. Smiling is a form of charity, as stated by the Prophet ﷺ in hadith. So like it's so easy for you to earn these good deeds and increase your iman with like these small details. Like there's small details embedded in everything, but for some reason we always like to focus on the bigger picture. But life is just like a puzzle.
Even Shaytan is like that. Like he's gonna tell you, like if let's say you want to donate even $1, the Shaytan's gonna be like, that's not gonna do anything. Just so you start to feel worse about yourself, right? You're like, he's gonna make you like think, oh, there's people out here, they're donating $1,000 a day to charities, and you're over here donating $1. You might as well just not even do it anyways, and just do it later on, right? And then you just wait later on, and guess what? You end up not donating anything.
But remember, there are constant forms of charity. Like imagine you donate only $1 to the construction of a musalla. The musalla is at the mosque. You donate only $1 to that. You're getting reward every single time someone prays on that, right? So it doesn't even matter if you're the one who built the whole musalla or you donate only $1 to it. You still get reward. And don't try to think you can count rewards, because you can't. Are you the angels that write your deeds on your shoulders? No, you're not, because you can't count the deeds that you do. You have no idea like how many good deeds you do in a day and how many bad deeds you do in a day, which is why we're always told to stay in a constant form of istighfar, like always making istighfar, because to protect us from those sins that we don't even know that we do. Like we may inadvertently do stuff that we don't know. And even if those are not technically sins, it's still us showing like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like we seek forgiveness from you because we want your protection.
In the
like,
Quran, Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, فَلَا تَزَكُّوا أَنفُسِكُمْ هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنِ اتَّقَى. Like don't purify yourself. Don't think you're high. Don't purify yourselves. He's most knowing of who fears Him. But that's a powerful verse, wallahi. Because like how many Muslims or like regular pious people, like what's the reason they stay pious? It's because they're still in a constant state of istighfar. They know that they're still alive. They can still die upon kufr. And that's the reality. Like you can still, like something could happen to you. You don't even know. That's why you always ask Allah. You always be conscious of Allah. You always be grateful to Him that you have a connection to Him. And inshallah, like nothing will ever happen. But like you understand what I'm trying to say here.
Prophet ﷺ, if anyone was to not make istighfar, it'd be him. But guess what? He still made istighfar every single day. Mm-hmm. And who are we to sit here and think that we don't need to make istighfar? Mm-hmm. We sit here, we think that we have enough good deeds for the day, or we minimize our good deeds, or people that have a haram to a halal ratio, and they think they're really doing something, but in reality,
they think they've done enough.
Yeah, exactly. But you can never do enough.
Like indeed, that might be the thing that gets you to the hellfire, though, is thinking you've done enough when in reality that might destroy your iman to a point that your intention is completely clouded. Like you might think, oh yeah, Allah knows my intention, but when you say stuff like that to justify your actions, that's where things could really become problematic for you, because you think that you really know, but indeed Allah knows better than you. Like you want to tell everybody out here, oh, you have no idea what's going on. Okay, I understand that. Maybe I don't know what's going on with you, but Allah does, right? So you can lie to yourself all you want. A lot of people, they like to lie to themselves about like what they're doing stuff for. Like I saw a quote from one of the Sahaba that said, I don't remember the exact name of the Sahaba, but it said, even doing a bad deed for with good intentions is still bad. And I was looking at it for like 10 minutes. I was sitting there like, wait, what do you mean? Like, even if I do something bad with a good intention, it's still bad. And I was thinking, I was like, yeah, because this bad thing was prescribed by either Allah or the Prophet for a reason that it's bad for you. Because what will it do? It'll kill your spirituality. It'll kill your iman, even if you do it for a good reason.
Dude, imagine it's like, killing an innocent person, but in reality you had good intention. You see what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah, like an innocent person.
What if an innocent person still died? You still committed a sin at the end of the day, and what have you done? You fooled yourself. You allowed the Shaytan to get to you. Shaytan is laughing at you now. He's making a mockery of you.
But it also made me think, maybe like doing a bad deed for a good reason. I thought about like, okay, remember how Prophet Musa alayhi salam, he accidentally killed a man, right? But his intention wasn't bad. He didn't mean to. He had no intention of doing that, but he ended up doing it. And what happened? He almost destroyed himself, being fearful of the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because he had no idea what was going to happen to him, the fact that he accidentally killed a man. And Allah still forgave him because he knew exactly what was in his heart. But he knew, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew better than Musa alayhi salam what was in his heart. Because Musa was out here fearing for his life, being repenting to Allah like all this time because he accidentally killed someone. But Allah, indeed, he still forgave him.
It's like Jannah is not instantly granted to you.
Exactly.
It's like your entire life is a hardship, and Jannah is the ease. That's the easy part. Like subhanAllah, like that is, do you understand what I'm saying?
Dude, Jannah is full of sinners who repented.
Yeah.
Jannah is not, someone who didn't sin his whole life. Like that's impossible for us. We're all children of Adam. We're all gonna mess up, but it's what you do with it.
It's not about like,
it's
sometimes you can't control your circumstances, but you can't control how you respond.
Exactly.
Say someone, hits your car. You're going to go ahead and curse at them and act a fool, run amok, or you're going to respond in such a way. Like maybe you couldn't control that. Maybe someone just came and ran into you. Maybe you couldn't control that. But you can't control how you respond.
And your perspective
And with that can come great reward, or
imagine, you're looking at it like, oh, this is the downfall of my life, or you can look at it as, what if I learned from this?
This is just a test from my Lord.
Oh, yeah, and
then that's great. Allah is with those who are patient.
Yeah,
Sabirin.
Something crazy. Speaking for us personally, right? We have a following now on social media, right? So the thing with that is people always look at us, oh, like, why haven't you thanked your followers for for your milestones that you have achieved? I'm like, are these milestones for me? Like, these are dunya milestones. I'm not concerned with this. Right? Is Allah going to look at me on the day of judgment and be like, well done, you amassed over 200,000 followers on Instagram? No, he's not going to do that. Like he might look at me and show me the good deeds that I did by me speaking about Islam on social media, but it has nothing to do with how many followers I amassed or how many likes I got on a post. It has nothing to do with that. Because how is that going to benefit me on the day of judgment? Because nobody's going to be able to speak for me. None of these people that follow me, they're not going to be able to speak for me on the day of judgment.
Us and the people the people in the streets who call to Islam, and us, we're the same people. If they have zero followers, zero social media, we're the same people. We still give the same speech. We still give the same speech, same message.
Exactly. So that's why whenever I speak about instant gratification, I'm thinking it's on social media, it's a dangerous plane, because I say dangerous plane because social media can be good in a sense where if you're looking at da'wah, if you're trying to spread increase your knowledge, looking for ways to boost your iman and that type of stuff, that's good for you as a Muslim. But then look at the other side of social media. There are women who are half naked where you must practice lowering your gaze and not looking at that type of stuff. There are people who you might envy or be jealous of because they have stuff that you want and you don't want them to have or something like that.
People who give false messages, bad speech.
Not even just that, just showing a portion of your lifestyle on social media so that everyone can look at that. But in reality, that's not really how you live it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Like, think about how many people who slander Islam and give these false images of Islam to their followers, and these people, they eat it up. Like these Christians or these atheists or anybody who's not in the fold of Islam, they're out here, making a mockery of Islam, and these followers, they eat it up. They eat up this false information that these people feed of them. Like, what were we looking at the other day? Some dude who was out here saying that
Right. He called us a moon boy. Like,
yeah, he said we worship the moon god, and these Christians that were in his comments actually believed him. And I was like, this is the bad side of social
like
media. Because look,
what's
imagine
crazy about social media? You'll see a Jewish person comment on an atheist person's post about Islam and say, "Right on, brother." Like, do you not like, dude? He doesn't even believe what you believe in. Why don't you argue with him?
See, that's the thing though. Like, people, they can, for us Muslims, people can make a mockery of Islam, and someone who's not very informed about Islam, they will like look at it and they will start to doubt. It can cast doubt into their hearts. That's why social media could be a dangerous place. That's why you got to be careful about like where you spend your time.
Here's the other thing. With those same people, like, think about the sins that you're getting from all that. From whoever takes that in, they take that in, they learn from that, and then you're just giving false information. Like, look at the sins you're about to have. Look, I saw a post on TikTok. It was talking about how music is haram. Yeah.
Yeah.
It said, imagine you're getting a sin for every single person who watches your video, and you have music playing in the background. Let's say your video gets 5 million views. That has 5 million sins right there that you just got because your video has that music. But people are looking at that viral video as in, you achieved something. Oh, your video went viral on TikTok. It has 5 million views. But in reality, you just gained 5 million sins that you don't see. Yeah, now you just thinking about it, like it was really that easy to gain 5 million sins on something that you look at as good.
Well, because
you think it's good.
Allah doesn't always punish you right away for the sins that you commit. If you do that, then that's
a mercy from Allah.
Yeah,
and even like think about it, like in Surah Hashara, like Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu taqullaha wa tanzur nafsum ma qaddamat lighadin wattaqullah. Like, oh, you who have believed, it's talking to the Muslims. Be conscious of Allah. Have some taqwa. And let every soul consider what has put forth for the next day. Like, subhanAllah, you like let every soul consider what it has put forth. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Wait, elaborate on that real quick.
Like, be conscious of Allah and be like, I don't know how to put this in words, but I understand it 100%. Be conscious of Allah and like be aware of what you have put forth. Like, have you prayed?
Uh-huh.
What charities have you given to? Have you encouraged the feeding of the poor? Have you helped that person today?
Uh-huh.
Or are you going to do it tomorrow? No, let's talk about today. Like, think about it.
Exactly. Change starts today.
And like, even in the Quran, every single soul will have what it has worked towards. This is in the Quran. So perhaps maybe you're working for something, working for a job, working for that new raise, and you haven't gotten it. Even though you know in your heart you're working 100%. Having the taqwa to know that Allah knows that you're working, even if you haven't gotten it, you'll be repaid for it, for your work.
And I guarantee you'll get something even better out of it.
Even better.
No, alhamdulillah for this kind of thinking. Imagine, someone outside of the fold of Islam, they're not thinking like this.
Yeah, like imagine like they get into a car accident or something, like it's the end of the world.
Like imagine, like really, really think about it. Like you have to feel bad because like it's just like you don't really know what you're missing out on. And this is exactly why we want to be out here doing what we're doing, giving this dawah to spread this message of Islam.
Like imagine for the Muslim, a sickness befalls him. All he can think about is how Allah is taking away some of his sins. Now imagine for a person someone who doesn't believe in God or the last day or the day of judgment, and he gets like cancer or something. Bro, imagine how miserable and depressed you would be.
Who do you question then? Who do you turn to then?
Like, who like me? I have Rabbul Alameen. I could turn to him. Who are you gonna turn to? When you're at your lowest point, who can you turn to?
Live life to the fullest.
That's crazy. It's like even like when you're at the lowest point, Allah is the one who responds to the desperate one when he calls.
Since we're on the topic of like da'wah and social media, I want to address like a lesson that I learned the other day when me and my brother here, we were gonna go on live with this man who who was making a mockery of Islam, a huge mockery.
Huge.
So
Out of pocket.
yeah. So what happened? What the heck was that? Okay. So what had happened was we were going on live. This guy, he was making a mockery of Islam. He was basically like doing what Fir'aun did. He was calling himself God essentially. And what I realized was there's no reasoning with these type of people. I just wanted to go on there and tell him like, yo, just respect my way of life. I'm gonna respect yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. But he was out here calling us moon worshipers. He was disrespecting us. He had the Christians believing
Called
in
us 9/11.
Yeah, he was like, he was disrespecting every single Muslim that was in the chat, and all these Christians were eating it up. They were taking everything he was saying like he was the pastor himself, or that he was a priest, or that he was one of the disciples of Prophet Isa alayhi salam himself. Like, so the thing I want to get with is, if you're ever going to spread Islam to somebody, especially over social media, you got to be very careful. There are some people who are looking to reason with you, and there are some people who are just going to look to make a mockery of you. They're going to look to make you look dumb. They're going to try to bring you hadith or Quran and try to say this is false, and they're going to know that you might not be able to explain it to them because you're not a scholar. You're not someone of knowledge. This is why I like to tell people, I'm not knowledgeable enough to be out here giving fatwas or anything like that, and I'm not knowledgeable out here to debate with everybody, because some of these debaters, they're going to come and bring stuff that is meant for you to trip over.
And this is not sincerity.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the worst part about it. Like, just imagine, people out here preaching about things that they're not even sincere about. They just want a worldly gain from you.
They just want to win the debate. They don't want to. They're not truly eager to find the truth.
Yeah, even a Christian debating a Muslim, they're not eager to bring you towards Christianity. They're just eager to make disprove you look stupid, Islam to you and to everybody who's watching. And look, they're like, oh yeah, look, this is some fake.
Look what I did.
Yeah. To any Muslim who wants to like go and give da'wah or go and argue or debate with anybody of the like any other faiths, do it with piety and do it with humility.
Like, imagine we do it for the sake of Allah. Like, imagine you want to see this person in paradise because they're another human being. All children of Adam have been honored, right? And that includes the disbeliever. Mm-hmm. So when you give this dawah, you do it out of sincerity of your heart. You're not doing it to make them look stupid or to make them look like a fool. Just because you want to.
Or not, you're not doing it to make people think that you're knowledgeable or to get claps. Like, that's not what it's for. And have the taqwa to know that you're doing this for the right reasons.
That's a characteristic of a hypocrite. Someone who takes pride in the fact that they may have knowledge over someone else, or the fact that they can make someone look dumb by outclassing them with their knowledge of their faith or someone else's faith and that type of stuff. Those are characteristics of a hypocrite. And it reminds me of one of the first people who enter hellfire, like the one who has knowledge but he concealed it. Like, this is someone who may have knowledge, but they're using it in a prideful way, like using it in a prideful manner. And this goes for Muslims as well. Like, if you're going to advise someone, you have to ensure that you understand exactly what you're advising upon and doing it in a kind way, and also ensuring that you're giving out the right information. Because none of us are qualified to be out here giving fatwas. We're not a scholar. None of us are scholars. We can't be throwing around the word scholar or the word sheikh thinking that everybody deserves that title.
That's a big title.
Exactly. So that's why,
title.
Especially being on social media, you have to also watch out for that, because there are people who follow different madhabs than you. There are people who take on these sects of Islam. Like, we're all supposed to be Muslim. Everybody thinks that they could take on a different image of Islam and call it Islam. Like, not everything is Islam, but it's not for us to say, right? Because there's a hadith of the Prophet who says, whoever calls his brother by like, oh kafir, then indeed that is true for one of them. So like, indeed calling a Muslim a kafir, if he claims to be Muslim and you understand that he believes la ilaha illallah, you can't say anything after that, regardless of what he does. Like, if
whether you like it or not.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you could tell them what they're doing is wrong, but you can't say you're not a Muslim. And I see that so often these days. This is why I say things like social media is dangerous, because people think that they're
like their words are like, they act like God doesn't know what's going on social media too.
Yeah.
Like they'll say outrageous things, like things that like you'll never even imagine, or even like people won't even say it face to face. Like, they're not manly. They're keyboard warriors, keyboard jihadis.
And the other thing is, social media is also dangerous. We get sucked into it. Sometimes we're sitting there, we get distracted by social media, and we start believing a lot of the things that we start seeing on social media. Like, for example, right, if everything on social media is made to look easy, we're gonna start thinking things are really easy in real life. Like, for example, you go on social media, you see this guy and this guy are bodybuilders. You're gonna go out, you're gonna work out for a couple of weeks, and you're gonna be like, dude, why am I not looking like them? Or, for example, on social media, what I see trending a lot right now is how easy they try to make the way of making money now. They think, everyone can just make money
And
fast, and it's
yeah.
a get rich overnight thing. And then people are going broke over it. People are stressing over it. People are, putting all their time into it. And then they're like, why am I not rich yet? And then they start to hate themselves for it. And then they start to give up on,
these are people's
types of things.
lives. Like, and they're being ruined by social media. Like you see like the turn of it. Like,
the grass is always green on social media.
Yeah, like, there's a sociologist. His name is Emmanuel Wallerstein. He talks about the relative income theory. Now, the relative income theory is basically, say I have an abundance of wealth, but your abundance of wealth 3 times as much as mine. I would still feel like a poor person, even though I have a home. I have everything I need. Everything I need. I have an abundance of wealth. I would still feel poor. Now think about social media. Think about how this theory can affect people's minds.
Just imagine.
This will depress people. This will make people feel bad about themselves. Even though they have, like, you see people living in beautiful homes. Like, just because on social media everyone's rich, because everyone's rich on social media, get money quick, money's so easy. How are you broke? How are you
make your first $1 million in 30 days? Like, you see that's so common nowadays, and I'm like, whoa,
like you're lying.
Like you are straight up lying to these people. And matter of fact, like a lot of those same videos, like you watch them, they don't even tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
And they're just at the end of the video, they're trying to sell you something.
Yeah,
they're trying to become a millionaire in 30 days.
Those types of things, like seeing people on social media have something that you may want to have, or an attribute you may want to have, will ultimately end up you relieving of yourself of one of the greatest attributes of a Muslim, which is sabr, which is patience, because you'll want it as soon as you can get it. You'll want it just like this, which is why that's how you get sucked into
that's
the dunya.
That's instant gratification.
Yeah,
you just want it like this. That's like social media. It's like a disease, even though we use it so much. SubhanAllah.
I'm saying there's good to it, but like when you see those things that you really just want, you're just like, okay, I need this instantly. I want this right now.
And it builds that impatience. But you know what's crazy? Like, God is with those who are patient. Allah is with the people who have sabr through any calamity that they go through any hardship. If people are making fun of them and they hold their tongue, like Allah is with that person.
Yeah, and if you want to ever say to yourself, oh, I've been so patient and it still hasn't come. Let me tell you something. The Prophet ﷺ took 40 years until he got his first revelation, before he finally realized exactly what his purpose was. What did he used to do in the cave of Hira before he received revelation? He used to go there and start questioning like his life, like what he used to question his purpose, like what is he here for? What's going on? Like what is his ultimate?
And you want to talk about being patient enough? Think about how much he went through, like the loss of both parents, like the
loss of all his children,
just being an orphan enough, like. There's not many people who are orphan, but Allah help the orphans. Like that's a struggle that no one except the orphan knows about.
Literally, read Surah Duha. He speaks about it there. Like when the Prophet wasn't receiving revelation for a long time, he thought Allah had
forsaken him.
Yeah, had forsaken him. He thought Allah was
angry with him.
Yeah, was upset with him. And what does Allah say in that surah? He said, "Did He not find you as an orphan? Did He not?
Open your chest and guide you?"
Yeah, exactly. And then he also says later on in that surah, he says like, be kind to the orphan, take care of the orphan. Like Allah praises that. He praises it more than once in the Quran.
Yeah.
So, but also like look at other stories of Prophet.
The hereafter is better than this life.
Yeah, exactly. Look at yeah.
Yeah, that's something. Like, that's a message that a lot of us forget. You're like, that's crazy. And like even like back to the topic of instant gratification, like it's totally fake. Like you'll never have something that's worth having instantly. Think about like the Sahaba, like they saw Islam, some of them were enemies of Islam. Like some of them were enemies of the Prophet, and they embraced Islam. They had to swallow their pride, and then Allah gave them the dominion of Arabia.
But look, just imagine, you don't work for anything. What's the value in it now? Yeah, like, everything, you're gonna get bored, it'll never be enough. You're just gonna want more and more and more. But there holds no meaning behind it, no value.
And it's like that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is it a material thing? Can you hold it? Can you see it? Can you hear it? No, you can't.
It's not empirical.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that you you can technically feel it. Like if you're a Muslim with Iman, then you can attest to the fact that you can feel that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But this is not something that you attain through this dunya. It's something, it feels like something outside of the dunya. It's like a detachment from the desires of this world, and you're like, okay, what Allah has for me is better than anything that this world could have. So that's what I'm going to turn to. That's what I'm going to rely upon. Like sole reliance upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala throughout like what we go through in our life. Like when you make a post online, as a man or a woman, would you look at it and be like, okay, am I cool with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asking me about this post when I on the day of judgment?
There's a verse in that, it's like beautiful verse. I heard it in the video you sent me, Osman, of Noreen Muhammad as-Siddiq. In Surah Anbiya, it talks about Ayub. When Ayub, he calls, Allah describes the situation. He says, when Ayub, like the hardship befell him of the sickness, he says, وَنَادَى عَلَيْنَا وَأَنْتَ أَرْحَمَ الرَّاحِمِينَ. فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ. We responded to him. Like, subhanAllah, bro. Like, he called to us by one of our, like, two of our beautiful names, and we responded to him.
Call him by his mercy.
His mercy.
There's another story about someone who called Allah by his mercy, Ya Rahman ar-Rahim. And he answered them because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, they called me by my mercy. They called out to me by my mercy. Like, how could Allah turn away from you when you
like
call
you
him
act
by his
like
mercy?
Allah. There's also another verse in the Quran. Oh, I have to find it. I just know it's like ما يفعل الله بعذابكم إن شكرتم وآمنتم وكان الله شاكرا عليم. Like, it's why should Allah punish? Like, Allah does not gain any benefit from punishing somebody. If you guys were grateful and believers, and Allah is like he forgives, like subhanAllah. That's crazy. I have to find the verse. Hold on, you guys continue talking. I'll find it for you.
Well, speaking of that, like, yeah, when you think about it, it's like what Allah doesn't have instant gratification. Why would he be why would he enjoy punishing someone? And he even
Surah Sa'ad, chapter 38, verse 26. Wait, no, that's wrong one.
A'udhu billah. You trying to give the false information on social media?
Surah Nisa, chapter 4, verse number 147. Why should Allah punish you? Ma yaf'al Allahu bi'adabikum. If you are grateful and faithful, subhanAllah. Allah is ever appreciative, all-knowing. SubhanAllah, man, I found it. Good stuff.
That's the hard
Good
verse
stuff
of the
right there.
Quran, man. That's tough. Not gonna lie.
Dude, all verses are hard. What do you mean?
Yeah, but in reference to this topic we were talking about right now, it's like
SubhanAllah.
Yeah, well,
Turn to
subhanallah.
Allah before you return to Allah. You know what I'm saying? SubhanAllah, man.
But I think that should wrap up this episode. Speaking about instant gratification, you know, the danger of like social media, taqwa, and contentment with the plan of Allah ultimately. And you know, with that being said, it's been Hussein, you know, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
All right, guys, you know, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Make sure you like, share this with all your friends and family. You don't know whose life you can change by sending this to them. You know, just to remind you guys, we're not scholars, always students of knowledge. So, with that being said, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.